Vice Admiral Cuthbert Collingwood at Trafalgar, a dramatized account. Off the coast of Cape Trafalgar, dawn, October 21st, 1805. The sea is eerily calm, the early morning fog lifting over the horizon. Through the mist, the dark silhouettes of the Franco-Spanish fleet stretch across the water. Above, a Union Jack flutters defiantly in the light breeze. At the head of the British line, aboard the mighty HMS Royal Sovereign, Vice Admiral Cuthbert Collingwood stands on the quarterdeck, eyes scanning the enemy ships. His hands are clasped behind his back, his face calm but focused. Collingwood, quietly to himself. So, this is the day. The air is thick with anticipation, the British fleet forming two columns, their orders clear. Admiral Nelson, aboard the HMS Victory, commands the fleet's northern line, but Collingwood, aboard the Royal Sovereign, leads the southern charge, first into the fray. HMS Royal Sovereign, below decks. The gun decks are filled with the hushed whispers of sailors preparing for battle. The sound of gunpowder barrels being shifted, the metallic clink of cannonballs, and the nervous chatter of men readying themselves for the coming storm fill the air. Among them is Midshipman Thomas, a young officer, gripping his musket nervously. Midshipman Thomas, murmuring to a shipmate, "It'll be a bloody one today. The Admiral's leading us straight in." His shipmate, Seaman Jenkins, grins, though his eyes betray fear. Seaman Jenkins, "Aye, but I'd follow Collingwood to the gates of hell if need be. Man's never led us wrong." HMS Royal Sovereign, quarterdeck. Collingwood's first lieutenant, Captain Edward Rotherham, approaches, the tension visible in his gait. Captain Rotherham, Vice Admiral, signals from the Victory. Nelson is ready to engage. "Shall we make our move?" Collingwood nods. He knows Nelson's plan is daring, splitting the British fleet into two columns to break through the center of the enemy line. It's a bold strategy, one that defies conventional tactics. But there is no hesitation in Collingwood. Collingwood, "We'll strike right through them, Captain. Steer for the heart of their line." Captain Rotherham, "Aye, sir." HMS Royal Sovereign, moments later. The Royal Sovereign begins its headlong charge toward the French flagship, the wind in her sails and her crew ready at their posts. Collingwood is calm, surveying the enemy as they come into clearer view. The French and Spanish ships, massive and bristling with cannons, loom like dark giants across the water. The ship's speed increases as they near the enemy line. On the horizon, HMS Victory follows closely, Nelson's personal signal flying high. England expects that every man will do his duty. As the Royal Sovereign cuts through the water, it becomes clear. They will be the first to engage. Collingwood, turning to Rotherham with a wry smile. "Now, gentlemen, let us do something today that will be remembered." Battle of Trafalgar. Engagement begins. Suddenly, the French and Spanish guns roar to life. Cannonballs scream across the sea, crashing into the water just yards away from the British ships. The Royal Sovereign holds her course, undeterred. The tension is unbearable as they draw closer to the enemy. Captain Rotherham, yelling, "Ready the guns." The sailors below deck spring into action, priming the cannons, steadying themselves for the order to fire. At last, the Royal Sovereign breaks the enemy line, colliding into the heart of the Spanish ship Santa Ana with tremendous force. Collingwood's ship rakes the enemy with a devastating broadside, cannon fire tearing through the wooden hull of the Spanish ship. Men scream as the carnage begins. HMS Royal Sovereign, gun decks. The roar of cannons is deafening. The men below decks fight like madmen, reloading and firing with astonishing speed. The ship shudders with every blast as smoke fills the air, thick and choking. But they are undeterred, fighting with everything they have. Midshipman Thomas, yelling over the chaos, "Reload. Quickly, men. Keep firing." Seaman Jenkins grins fiercely as he pushes a cannonball into place. Blood drips from a gash on his forehead, but he doesn't stop. Seaman Jenkins, "Give him hell, boys." HMS Royal Sovereign, quarterdeck. Amidst the chaos, Collingwood remains stoic, issuing commands with unwavering authority. His ship has taken heavy fire, but he presses the attack, refusing to relent. Collingwood, to Captain Rotherham, "Engage the next ship." will give no quarter. More enemy ships move in, surrounding the Royal Sovereign, but Collingwood is unflinching. His ship is a whirlwind of destruction, blasting through one ship after another with relentless precision. HMS Victory, later in the battle. As Collingwood continues his assault, word reaches him of Nelson's mortal injury aboard the Victory. A solemn expression crosses his face, but he knows what must be done. Collingwood, softly, to himself, "God save Nelson." Turning to his officers, Collingwood's voice is steady, resolute. "Collingwood, keep up the fight. We'll finish this, for Nelson." Battlefield at sea, end of battle. Hours later, the once mighty Franco-Spanish fleet is in ruins, burning ships dotting the horizon. The British fleet, battered but victorious, has broken the back of Napoleon's naval power. Collingwood, now in full command of the fleet, stands on the deck of the Royal Sovereign, surveying the aftermath. The sea is littered with the wreckage of enemy ships and bodies, but the Union Jack flies high. It is a hard-won victory, and Collingwood's expression is one of quiet pride, mixed with deep sorrow for the fallen Nelson. Captain Rotherham, approaching. "The fleet is ours, sir. The day is won." Collingwood, softly. "Aye, but at a great cost." He looks toward the horizon, where the HMS Victory sails slowly, Nelson's lifeless body aboard. The realization settles on him. The mantle of leadership has passed, and now, as the senior admiral, it is his duty to carry on the fight. With a heavy heart, but unwavering resolve, Collingwood issues his final order of the day. "Collingwood, signal the fleet. We sail for home." See, HMS Royal Sovereign, sunset. As the sun sets over the battle-torn waters, the Royal Sovereign sails into the golden horizon, battered but triumphant. The memory of Trafalgar will live on, etched in history. Collingwood, the steady hand in the storm, has led his men through the fire, securing Britain's supremacy at sea. And though Nelson is gone, the spirit of victory remains. For Cuthbert Collingwood, the duty to protect his nation is far from over. These films have been created to highlight the powerful features of Polyspeaks for You, South Africa's leading accessibility software. Learn more at www.polyspeaksforyou.co.za. We invite you to support this meaningful dyslexic initiative, crafted and developed by an individual who personally understands the challenges of dyslexia.